Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. Welcome to our webinar today on marketing with Dynamics CRM. As suggested there, it's the What You Need to Know session, but focusing specifically on marketing within Dynamics CRM. So as you would know, we've been working with the CRM solution with many clients for a number of years, and today is specifically focused on that marketing piece within CRM. So it's an extension on standard CRM functionality with a core focus on marketing. Now that core focus is going to be around the Click Dimensions product, and I'll get to that in a moment. But today is about looking at how to automate your marketing execution based on specific behavior rather than an element of randomness that we may sometimes do. Also look at the nurturing piece for your marketing activity, and just talk about how easy it is to actually implement that automation piece within your CRM solution. So before we get started, just a couple of little logistical pieces for you to be aware of. So we can ask questions through the session. So as the session is presented today, on the right-hand side in your GoToWebinar panel, there is a questions box. If you enter your questions into that box, we'll get to those at the end of the session today. Anything that we either don't have time for or can't answer, we will follow up for you and for everyone as part of the process at the end of the webinar today. So we are recording today's session, and we will send you a link to that recording on our YouTube channel. So while of course you can take lots of notes, you don't have to take all the screenshots. We will record this session for you, so you can go back and look at it again after today's presentation. You can also share that link with others in your organization if you wanted to share today's session with someone else within your organization. So over to the actual presentation today. As I mentioned, we are presenting today the Click Dimensions solution, and we're fortunate enough to be joined by Chantel Schumacher, who's the Regional Sales Director for Click Dimensions based in North America. Now, we've been working with CRM, as I mentioned, for many years, and we've also been working directly with Click Dimensions and Chantel since the Click Dimensions organization was created a little over 5 years ago. So we've got a great relationship, and we partnered with Click Dimensions, and we have done for a number of years. So I'll hand over to Chantel right now, who's actually going to take us through the presentation. Thanks, Chantel.
Thank you for the introduction. That was great, Michael. Hello, everyone. I'm Chantel Schumacher. I'm going to bring you through some fun things with Dynamics CRM today, something that I'm very passionate about. And we're going to talk a little bit about autopilot and automation and marketing execution from within Dynamics CRM. So I'm going to show you some really fun and easy ways to implement this and some really fun things that are going to be key to sales and marketing and some awesome things they can do from CRM. So I'll go through a couple of slides here for you, and then we're going to bring you right into CRM 2016. We're going to spend a lot of time today in our new campaign automation builder, and I'm going to show you all kinds of really cool things you can do with that. And then at the end, as I'm done presenting, I'm going to hand it back over to Michael, and he's going to close up. We'll run through questions and do all of that fun stuff. And again, we work very closely with Professional Advantage. They're a Gold Click Dimensions partner and know us very well, so we thank all of you for joining us today. All right, so a couple of things we're going to talk about. So marketing in general, I just want to bring up a couple of statistics to set the stage for us. So as you guys know, buyers today are anywhere from 2/3 to 90% of the way through the buying process before they even reach out to a vendor, right? So there's all kinds of things your buyers are going to be doing before they're actually reaching out to you. And so because of that, there's many different ways that marketers are having to go out and be proactive and do all kinds of really cool things on their website and with SEO and all these other awesome things you can do. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. 50% of qualified leads are not ready to purchase immediately. So a lot of times you may hear salespeople saying, we're getting these leads from marketing, but they're not ready to buy yet, right? They're not hot yet. They're not ready. So marketing may be getting some pushback on those leads. So I'm going to talk a little bit about how we can automate some processes for that today. But really one thing I want to go in on is that companies today that excel at lead nurturing generate 50% more sales-ready leads at a 33% lower cost. And so there's some really neat things you can do from within your CRM that will help you achieve that. So we're going to focus in on a couple of areas today, but I just want you to know what we add in this dynamic CRM. So all of this functionality is going to be brought natively into dynamic CRM. You're going to be able to create from inside of CRM. You're going to be able to execute from inside of CRM. And then as soon as recipients are doing anything with email communications or on your website, with SMS, all of that is fed into dynamic CRM in real time. So I'll talk a little bit about the editors. We're going to go into the automation builder a lot today so I can show you some really fun examples of how you can automate process. But just so you know, all of this functionality is brought in. So anything from email marketing to your web tracking to lead scoring, nurture marketing, SMS, campaign tracking, form capture. We have all kinds of really cool things you can do on the back of forms, and there's form editors. There's survey functionality. There's landing page editors. So if you want simple drag and drop for building those out, we'll host those for you. There's social discovery pieces. And then there's also event management. And so we can go into detail on that, on how you can do that with native CRM and ClickDimensions, but also how we integrate with GoToWebinar, WebEx, Eventbrite, Cvent, a lot of the popular event management tools out there today. And then a huge thing with ClickDimensions is that we have unlimited training and support that comes with a subscription, and also work very closely with your partner. Most marketers today, before they come to ClickDimensions, may have used a number of tools, right? They may have dynamic CRM, but they might be using a separate email service provider or something else for analytics or web forms or surveys. And if they're lucky, they may have an integration right here. The way ClickDimensions works is that we are fully native inside of dynamic CRM. So no connectors, no separate databases to manage. Everything is in one database. So I will be going into CRM 2016 online today and showing you what that looks like. So again, you will just see the user interface of dynamic CRM. So you'll be creating in there and executing from there, and then everything will feed into CRM. With that, just a little bit on who ClickDimensions is out there in the world today. So we are a Gold CRM partner ourselves. We have won a Partner of the Year award for solution excellence. Our solution is actually the only marketing automation solution out there today that's certified for Microsoft Dynamics CRM. We live, breathe, and sleep it. We have customers today in 66 countries. We have thousands of Dynamics CRM customers that are all using Microsoft CRM. So if you're working with our support teams and stuff, we really understand it inside and out. We work very closely with Microsoft, and so you'll see a lot of different material out there on ClickDimensions, and I'll share that with Michael and the team so they can share. You know, we have ebooks and all kinds of fun things that talk about marketing from within CRM. All right, with that, I'm going to go ahead and just pull over a CRM environment. So let me know when everybody should be able to see this here in a minute. And what we're going to do in here today is talk a little bit about some scenarios. So I want to bring up some campaign automations that talk about automating process. So there's a number of ways that you can do this in CRM. And keep in mind, all of this data is going to come into your CRM database. So you can create views and charts and have really fun dashboards to look at this data right inside of the CRM database the way you want. Everything that marketing is doing is going to be brought to your salespeople in real time. Also, our entities tie in really nicely to CRM workflow. So if you're thinking about building out business process, right, any data point that changes in CRM can trigger emails or SMSs or all kinds of really cool things you can do to automate process. So our entities tie into CRM workflow, but we also have alternatives to that. One is going to be the campaign automation builder I show you, and another is going to be a nurture builder. So we're going to go in here. So there's a couple of areas we sit inside of CRM. We sit under marketing. So right here, if you're going into your CRM, right, these are your out-of-the-box entities. All of these on the right-hand side all these green ones are click dimensions. The other place we sit in here is in settings. So you'll see all these really cool things right here is click dimensions. Now you can choose, if you're in 2013 and higher, to have a click dimensions tab. It's really up to you what you want that user interface to look like. But we'll spend our time today, for example, working out of marketing. So click dimensions is designed for the non-technical marketer. That being said, we have many different types of editors depending on what our marketers are used to using. So we could be working with agencies that like to do things in custom HTML. We could be working with somebody that likes working out of a WYSIWYG. We could be working with a marketer that doesn't know any HTML, but they want something wizard-driven so they can build some really nice-looking HTML templates. All of those are going to be options for you as you start to design. So let me bring you in here just a little bit to show you what I mean by that, and then we're going to lead into what these would look like in campaign automations. So from a template editor perspective, I'll just show you one of our most popular. So any record you create with click dimensions is like another CRM record. And we can go in here, we can build a template, so we'll just name this one Chantal Test Today. But it's very simple. You can choose what type of editor you want to use. You'll open the editor types. Drag and drop responsive design is built right in the HTML. There's photo editors right in here for you, so you can actually edit your images. You can edit your layouts. So this one gives you about a dozen layouts to start from, but you literally can drag in content where you'd like to. One really amazing thing with click dimensions being inside of CRM is you can mail merge in your fields right from CRM into your templates, into your subject lines. So there's this little person right here, for example, so I can go in and I can find my fields that I have under the contact records, and I can pick them, and then they'll dynamically change on the other end. You can also have any templates render based off of any custom entity data you track in your CRM system. So maybe you're tracking language for a contact, and based on their primary language, you want that template to render that way, right? So you can use if statements, and we use FreeMarker, and there's all kinds of really cool things you can do from a FreeMarker perspective. We can go in and do things with the photos. So let me just kind of show you what photo editors look like. Click Dimensions will host all of your images for you. We'll host all of your layouts for you and stuff in Azure. So you can go in here on the left, and you can actually upload images where you like to. You can put them in folders. To add an image, you just simply click on it, and it will add it in and resize it to the block. But I can even go in and I can edit the image and do different things from here. So your photo editors, everything are inside of CRM. So if I want to add some text, or if I want to crop it or do different things in here, I can absolutely do that. So just to give you an idea of how Click Dimensions works, everything in our editors, it doesn't matter if you're building landing pages or if you're building forms or surveys, it's drag and drop. It's meant to be very simple and easy. Now that being said, you can flip editor types. You can also have master templates. So maybe you want to clone pieces. You can also lock areas of this template down. So like in drag and drop, maybe I don't want people to be able to change the header and the footer. I can lock those areas down in the template. So there's lots of really cool things you can do with the editors themselves, and we're happy to meet with you after this if you want to go into other things in more detail. But just to give you an idea of how some of the editors work inside of CRM with Click Dimensions. Now, once you build things out, there's numbers of ways to send them out. You can send them out in bulk. You can send them out individually. You're going to be able to give your recipients opt-out options. Spam Assassin is built right in, so you can check spam scores. Litmus testing is built in, so there's inbox preview. You can see what those render like in 3 dozen different email clients. But when you think about sending them, you can enable templates to be sent right from your contacts and leads. You can choose them to also go out in bulk, but you can also think about automating processes based on what people do. Any data point that changes in CRM can add them to a marketing list. And a marketing list can then be tied to a campaign automation. So think about the possibilities, right? So somebody goes to your website, they download some information. You may send them an autoresponder right away, which you can do with Click Dimensions on the back end of our forms. but maybe then at that point it triggers a drip marketing campaign. And based on what that person's doing, you're going to set up different actions for them, right? So there's lots of different things you can do here. So I'm going to just talk about a couple of different options. So there could be things like maybe you being at an event, and I'll talk about that, and maybe you're driving people to come to a dinner and how they're responding. You're going to set up different actions. But what if it's different things like cross-selling to your current customers, targeting new customers, nurturing existing, just making sure that they're aware of certain things that are going on. There's many different scenarios that you can use campaign automations for. And so let me just talk about a few here. So here's an example of somebody is cross-selling in the insurance industry, right? You may want to set up different activities based on what people are doing, and you can run as many campaign automations as you want to. Now, there's different ways that people can be triggered into campaign automations. It could be somebody be added to a marketing list that then sends an email template out. It could be somebody submitting a form. It could be that first email template going out that's triggering different actions. So you can see here, this is actually a scenario where a template's going out, the first email's going out, and depending on how that recipient is responding, we can send them down positive or negative paths. So what I mean by that is if somebody actually had clicked in my email, it could notify the record owner automatically in CRM. This is Visio based. You guys can make this and branch this out as much as you want. You can loop people back into series. You don't have to, but you can see how you can keep branching them along. So based on if the person was clicking on in links and different things like that, it was sending them down different areas of this automation. Now, think about from retail, right? If you're sending out promotions, and depending on where they're clicking inside of the template, you could be sending them down different paths. So I'll just give you another simple example where we'll go click into a couple of things. But we were at an event, and I was trying to drive people to a dinner. And with that dinner, based on how they responded in my template, we sent them down different actions. So if I open my builder, I'll show you what I mean by this. These are your first initial triggers. So this was an email template which invited them to come to a dinner. And I got to choose, based on which link they were clicking in that template, how I wanted them to branch out in different actions. So what I did in here is I asked them if they would be attending our dinner or not. Would you be interested in attending? And if they were clicking on that link, that's what I was going to concentrate on in this marketing automation. Now I could have branched them out differently based on what they were clicking, so I could send them down a different branch based on if they were going just to our website. I could also branch it based on if they were just opening the email, if they were clicking, or one or the other, so you can kind of pick and choose what your series are going to look like. Now when they go in here, you can put in decision notes, and I'll go into that a little bit further so you can see what those look like. But I branch people off based on two different ways that they were coming in. So if they clicked on the registration link that they were going to come to my dinner, I wanted them to go down a different path than somebody that just opened my email. So once you go into these series, it can set up different types of actions. And what I mean by that, so if somebody only opened my email, I may want them to actually get another template for me. And I put a timer on this. So this is to send them another email if they only opened it and didn't click in my link, right? I wanted to put in a wait timer and then send them another template. But think of the possibilities. You can actually tie in workflows here. So maybe you want phone call activities created in CRM that somebody has to complete. You can notify record owners, or tasks can be created. You can assign things to people. You can put timers in there. So it makes it very nice and simple. These are literally all drag and drop. So I'm going to go back here and just talk a little bit further through this. Now, what if somebody clicked on my link and they didn't actually submit my form? Like, they must have been interested, right? So if they didn't actually submit the form, I sent them down a negative path. So you can put people in positive paths based on what they're doing, and you can put them in negative paths based on what they're doing. So from here, if they actually clicked on my link that they were going to come to my dinner, I set up different actions depending on how they were answering my questions. So when I go in here, I can actually do a number of things with the decision nodes. And what I mean by that is if somebody said they would maybe be coming, so you can see here, I could actually pick my fields from inside of my form that I created with Click to Mentions. I can decide what I want that to look like. So does it contain something? Does it equal this? Does it not equal this, right? So you're going to decide what you want those decision nodes to look like. And my choices in the form, it was actually just, a drop down where they picked if they were yes going, no going, or maybe going. So if they said maybe, I was going to send them down a different path than somebody that said that they were going. So what's really cool about that is my maybe people are on a different type of series than my yes people. So if somebody said that they were maybe coming to my dinner, it notified our marketing team. So one, it notified them that somebody submitted a registration form, and that would also feed into CRM, and I can show you where that is. What it also did is it created a task in our CRM, and actually my team had to go find that person at this event and push them to go to our dinner. And when they went and found them, they could complete the task. So there's all kinds of actions and things that you can set up. Whereas somebody that said they were coming to my dinner, we actually added them to a yes marketing list, and it notified the marketing team because we were going to set up different actions for them that were actually coming. Now there's all kinds of different things you can do in marketing automations. Again, these can get very large, so you can keep branching them out based on what people are doing. You can make it simplistic or you can make it complex. So as you're thinking about what types of automated processes would I like to put in place based on the interactions that my recipients are having with my communications, the sky's really the limit. There's a ton of stuff you can do around any of this, and we're happy to go into detail around your scenarios and show you some fun examples. But just to give you some food for thought on how you can automate some of this. Now, everything can be tied back to a campaign in CRM, right? So for my dinner, I could have all those forms tied back to a single campaign source, so it's easy for me to go just into a campaign in CRM and see everybody that signed up for my dinner. All of that stuff feeds right into, you can tie right to a campaign entity as well. What's nice about this is, one, I can automate things, but two, I can, again, run as many of these as I want to. So if I start to think about different types of drip campaigns or multi-channel campaigns that I'm going to be running, I'll set these up and begin to publish those. Now they can be automated so that actions are going to automatically trigger people into the campaign automations, but they can also be manual so that you can trigger them right from lead and contact records. So that's an important thing to remember. If anybody on the call is already using Click to Mentions, you know how with nurture programs today, they're more linear, and I can show you that. There's actually, since we're talking about this, let's show you this really quick so everybody knows what we're talking about. There's nurture programs with Click to Mentions as well, and these are a little more linear, but you would also have these that could automate drip marketing programs as well. And so these you can have unlimited of two. You can add a marketing list right here, but you'll have access then to the builder. And this one is more of a linear drag and drop, so I'm sending everybody an email, and then depending on what that person does with the email, I'm going to set up different actions. So did they actually open my email? Well, then I may want to notify somebody, or I want to send them another email to everybody that actually opened it, and you can decide what you want your actions to be based on that. So you can see it's just a drag and drop interface. It's very simplistic to use. It's also an alternative to workflow, so we actually host these in Azure, and it takes that workload off your CRM. But so lots of cool things that you'll be able to do from automating processes that way as well. Now, like I had mentioned, everything with Click to Mentions is going to be drag and drop, and you can switch editor types. So if you prefer to do things in custom HTML, or if you want to flip like an email template to a WYSIWYG so you can get into the source code, you can do that. the way that all the statistics and everything feed in, everything literally feeds into your CRM in real time. So if I just go into even Chantel's contact record, I'll show you mine. I'll show you what this looks like. So if I go in here and show my record, now this can, I'll go back to a campaign so I can see all the emails that are going out for that campaign automation, but I can also see it down to the individual level. And so what I mean by that is a number of things. So if you see under here, like if you go into somebody's contact or lead now, these are your CRM entities, right? Well, now I can see click dimensions under here as well. So I literally can see every single email Chantel's been sent. I can see every page view Chantel's had, every visit she has to the website, where she's coming in from. Is it from my emails that's driving her to the website, or is it from some of the online advertising that I'm doing? That gets us into a whole nother conversation where we can start talking about what's driving people and tracking campaigns that way and all that kind of stuff as well. But so this all ties back, and so just to give you a glimpse here of what I mean by that. So if we go into my record, here's every email that Chantel's ever been sent, and you can see everybody's overall statistics of what they've been doing. Literally everything they do is time-stamped as well, so every time somebody opens or clicks or delivery happens or bounces, that all tracks back into your CRM system. So keep in mind, any of those data points can trigger other things. It could add them into nurture programs. If they're clicking on certain links, maybe you want them automatically added into a drip marketing program around that product. There's just a lot of different possibilities you can do there. If somebody's opting in or out, it updates the CRM database automatically. So that's another thing that's just built in with Click Dimensions. So literally I can go in and see anytime Chantel's opted in or out of a communication. That is also all tied back to the individual leads and contacts. If somebody globally unsubscribes, it actually timestamps it on their record, and it updates the CRM out of the box fields as well. So you would see that down here. Now the other things that you can see, like what if somebody's in campaign automations, or what if I want to see if they're in a nurture program. You can see these timelines as well for your contacts and leads. So if I want to go into Chantel and see, okay, has Chantel ever been in a nurture program? Why, yes, she has. And I can actually see when she was in those nurtures, and I can open it up, and it's going to give me a really nice nurture timeline, so I know what Chantel did with that. Well, Chantel was sent a series of 5 emails, and you know what? She didn't open any of them. But I can see all of that when I go to her record. The other thing that's really nice over here is you can see how you can manually add people to campaign automations, and you can also add people to nurture programs. You can also send them individual templates if marketers enable those to be quick sends. What I mean by that is this. So marketing could decide, you know what, I'm going to design some nice templates that our team is allowed to send out. And I may lock down a lot of the blocks in there, but they can change the content in this one, right? You'll have control over all of that. Now, if I go in here, I'll just show you what I mean here. So maybe somebody calls Click Dimensions, and they're like, you know what, we have been thinking about this for a while. We really want to get certified on Click Dimensions. Well, all I need to do is click on this template, and it's going to pull in our certification exam template. I'm going to hit send. And then once this goes out, I can see if they actually opened it, if they clicked in the link to take the test. Those are a lot of the really cool things that you'll have access to. The same goes if you're going to add somebody to a nurture or campaign automation. You literally just click on it. It will pull up all of your nurtures you have built, and it will pull up all of your campaign automations. You can click on the one you want to add them to and hit run. So you'll have those types of possibilities and stuff as well. So that's a little bit on how it's tying back to individuals. Now keep in mind, we have out-of-the-box reports for like your bulk sends and all of that as well. So there's click reports that show all of your total unique clicks. There's click heat maps. Just to bring this back a little bit to show you guys what I mean by that. Any of the bulk sends, so if it goes to more than one recipient, it ties into a bulk send where you can see the overall stats for those emails here, but you can also see that from the campaign entity. So I can go in here and see, okay, everybody that was sent our April newsletter, I could, all of this can be manipulated, who it's coming from, where the responses are going, when it's getting sent. You actually use your marketing list from right inside of CRM if you're doing bulk sending. But the statistics feed in here in real time for you. So literally, as people are interacting with those communications, again, that is all feeding into your CRM database in real time. So I can see that in full detail for every single recipient of this newsletter. It shows me here in the sent emails what their statistics are, but it also shows me email events. So literally when people are clicking and opening and doing different things with this, I can go in here. I know right now Joelle is looking at this. I can go and follow up. The click heat maps and stuff are also a great feature, but just so you guys know, click dimensions, add-ins, random A/B testing. So if you like to do that, again, spam assassin, everything's built right in. Your click heat maps, which are a fun to have feature, but marketers love this stuff as well. So like your visuals with the nurture builders, any bulk emails that go out will generate these click heat maps for you. There's also click reports and stuff as well. And so you'll be able, those will automatically generate anytime a bulk email goes out. But keep in mind, you can pull these into views, charts, dashboards, and reports any way you want, because this is now all CRM data. So we literally don't store your data. Click Dimensions does not have a standalone solution. We sit natively inside of your CRM, and so we're really only processing things in Azure, and we're feeding it all into your CRM database in real time. So that's a little bit of an overview of some of the things you can do with just, we talked a lot about automating email campaigns and those types of stuff today, but we could get even further. Again, Click Dimensions has a lot to it. So if you're starting to think about web traffic, and it's great to see opens and clicks and do different actions based on that, but what about formulating campaigns based on how many seconds somebody's looking at certain things or certain pages on your website, or watching where the tracking with referring hosts and what ads is driving them in, and you seeing all of that inside of CRM. So we can start to get into those conversations. The form editors and the survey builders, they're all drag and drop interface. Very easy to set them up, and you can set up all kinds of automated actions on the back end of those as well. So if somebody even opts into your newsletter, they can automatically be added into your newsletter marketing list in CRM, and it can automatically send back autoresponders. There's all kinds of really cool things you can do. The same with landing pages, and there's different editors for those, and again, we'll host those for you. All of our web content responsive design is built in out of the box. You can turn it off if you don't want them to be responsive. Most people do, right? So depending on what device people are opening them up on, they'll render as appropriate, but that's all built in. And then we're always happy to get into conversations around SMS, or if you're thinking about event management. And anything you're doing today, maybe you're using GoToWebinar, right, like this webinar. What would happen when people automatically register, we'd create new leads or contacts in CRM for you if they weren't in there. We do query the CRM database first to see if we find them. But what's really cool then, it's going to show who registered for the webinar, who showed up and attended, how long they were in there. They're pulling questions. Everything feeds right into CRM. Also, if you use tools like Eventbrite, right, or Cvent, and those all, we have out-of-the-box integrations for all those. But lots of cool things we can do. I know I only have a certain amount of time here for me to talk about content. I'm past my time, I think, by 5 minutes. But thank you again for having me, and I just wanted to show you a little bit of what you can do. But if you are more interested, absolutely, we'll have you connect with Professional Advantage and go into a scenario that's more specific to your business process. So with that, I'm going to pass the reins back to Michael, and thank you everyone for having me today, and we'll open it up for Q&A.
Excellent, thank you, Chantel. Look, I'm just while we've got some questions coming through there, and don't forget, if you've got a question, just pop that into your GoToWebinar questions panel on the right-hand side of your screen. But I'm sure the attendees today will agree that there's a lot of content in there, Chantel, Click Dimensions is an extremely feature-rich product and really takes CRM to a completely different level. One thing that we certainly like is, as you described, that built inside Microsoft Dynamics CRM, not a third-party bolt-on over on the side. So, and when I say we like it, so we like it for the clients that we work with, but also interesting to note that we use Microsoft Dynamics CRM ourselves internally, and we use Click Dimensions. So we use both CRM and Click Dimensions together. So we are a reselling and implementing partner as well as a consumer and user ourselves of the Click Dimensions solution. So we've got some questions come through. So Chantel, if you're brave enough and ready, we'll just tackle some questions here. So the first one is, does Click Dimensions work with both CRM Online and CRM On-Premise?
Yes, it does. So Click Dimensions fully supports CRM Online and On-Premise and partner hosted. So online is already configured for us to connect. On-premise, there's multiple connection options that we'll work with you on with Professional Advantage. So you connect through us through a secure port, or you can enable an internet-facing deployment. There's multiple ways. Great question.
Okay, excellent, excellent. All right, and just a version-specific question then. So what versions of Microsoft Dynamics CRM does Click Dimensions support?
So Click Dimensions supports a number of versions. So of course the newest version is 2016, which we fully support. Right now we're currently still supporting 4.0 on up. At the end of 2016, support for 4.0 will be going away, but we do support 4.0 2011, 2013, 2015, and 2016.
Okay, excellent. So right back to 4.0, but as you said, at the end of this year, that will be moved on beyond 4.0, so that'll be 2011. Okay. Okay, we've got what looks like a bit more of a technical question here. So, can you preview email templates in various email providers? For example, how will my template look in Gmail versus Outlook?
You absolutely can do that. It's built in out of the box. We call it, so you're talking about litmus testing, and we call it, inside of Click Dimensions, we call it inbox preview. But when you build out a template, you can do that, and actually we'll show you literally what it renders like in 36 different email clients. So that's a great question.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah, no, that's good to see as well. Okay, look, that's it from a questions perspective. If you do have any other questions, of course, you can send them directly through to us or talk to your account manager. So just in wrapping up, I just wanted to mention a couple of things. So today, what you've seen is the Click Dimensions solution specifically for our existing clients. Working with Click Dimensions, if you'd like to extend that functionality and work with some training with our consultants, please reach out to your account manager. Or anyone that's not yet using Click Dimensions and wants to look further into that, also reach out to your account manager. If you're not yet working with us directly with CRM and Click Dimensions, please don't hesitate to reach out to the inquiries email there on the screen and have a chat to us about how we can help you moving forward. And just finally, the future for us in terms of events upcoming. So for our Dynamics GP clients, we have a budgeting and forecasting webinar on the 28th of April, so that's coming up in a couple of weeks. We also have on the 5th of May, we're introducing a new product for us called Performance Plus. And this software allows you to create your own training and onboarding material across any software solution. So it is application independent. It allows you to record your own training, update your own documentation, and then maintain that yourself for your employees. It's a great user adoption tool as well as a training tool for new users. And we also have our up close and personal session coming up. I think we've got the date wrong on that. That's a little bit misleading. We have an up close and personal session coming up. I'll just check that that date for you right now. It is the 20th of April. So the in-depth look and features there around benefits of Office 365. So that's the 20th of April. Okay, so just wanted to say one more thank you to Chantel. Really appreciate you taking the time today to walk us through some of the functionality there within Click Dimensions. And as mentioned before, we've been partnering with Chantel and Click Dimensions for a number of years and successfully working together as a customer as well. So we can vouch for Click Dimensions as a partner as well as an organisation to work with from an implementation perspective. So thank you again, Chantel. Really appreciate you taking us through the session today. And as you leave the session today, you will exit the GoToWebinar, and there will be a little survey form that pops up where you can nominate your interest there in a follow-up conversation with us around Click Dimensions. As mentioned in the intro, we have recorded the session today, and we will send you a link to that recording as part of the follow-up. So thank you, everyone. Have a fantastic rest of your day. Bye for now.
Thank you.